Dear Diary, it's me, Orion. Today was just the craziest day. Got to see some dragon skeletons and hang out with my buddy Ook. I'm still pretty mad at him, though, for reading my book without asking. But he looked super cool being ripped through that chicken portal. It was all like, I wonder if he's off to get some of those big eggs or something. And what was the deal with all those 9 and 10-leg spiders? It seems everyone can teleport around here except for me. Oh, and the dwarfs smiled at me today. I wonder if Talgrof will ask me to join his clan. I better work on my surprise face just in case. Okay, see you later, diary. I'm gonna go practice.
Welcome to the Lazy BardCast. I'm David Williams, the resident DM for the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and I may or may not be wearing pants.
He's not.
My name's Kyle. I'm playing Talgrof, the dwarf paladin. He's super excited about all things dwarf. And he's not concerned at all with anyone else, besides maybe the party.
My name is Josh Yarnell, and I play Orion Goodbarrel, a halfling bard in search of the greatest adventure.
I'm Kyle Dell. I'm playing Gideon, the human artificer who's just recently woken up from a centuries-long rest and for the first time in his life has more questions than answers.
My name's Sean Luke. I'm playing Maven the Monolith Smolderbeard, a mountain dwarf cleric.
Previously on the Lazy BardCast. Where did we start last week?
Okay.
That's our intro.
Our adventurers found themselves at the top of a flight of stairs where a boulder was sprung, confronting Ook about the potential intrusion of Orion's journal. They continued forward and found a room with a series of pillars and a strange brass-looking creature. Heading out of that room, they found Rizaril and presented Talgrof with some information about his shield with the history of the Dumathuin. Within, Talgrof discovered that the shield of Farangul was taken to a drow house by the name of House Alvrandar, and you all continued further down, ambushing some strange-looking creatures and eventually being ambushed by some phase spiders and then a larger phase spider before at least the large one disappeared. And after dispatching these creatures, you made your way onward into Undermountain, and that's where we pick up tonight. So you guys continue making your way out of this cavernous room that you find yourselves in, and continuing forward, it appears to be chiseled hallways moving along. There don't appear to be any break-offs from this tunnel at the moment, and as you're continuing forward, Rizaril, I must say I was rather impressed with all of your performances during that scuffle back there.
Yeah, did you see me catch that one? That was pretty handy, yeah?
Yeah, that was fast.
I honestly was not expecting the addition of some of Lolth's own, but hopefully the large one just goes back to its nest and not to report to the house.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that was creepy. And that portal thing, there were like chicken things. I saw like chicken things.
Yeah, good job on that, too. Who knows what was over there?
Like chicken things, man.
You know, it's better that those ooks are gone. They were nothing but trouble.
Yeah, you know what? Ook is way more than he comes off to be.
Starting to feel the same thing.
He seemed like a moronic goblin with a strange coin to me.
I don't know. He seems more than meets the eye.
I feel like the odds of us actually seeing him again are pretty slim, considering it seems like a dimension that was triggered by a coin. So
I
for
put
us
money on
to
it.
find that one specific dimension again would be pretty unlikely.
Well, I didn't think
Yes.
I'd see him again the last time I saw him again, but if I see him again now, I don't know.
Have any of you heard of a city under here? Well, it's less a city and more a town by the name of Skullport.
Yeah, we have.
You have.
And we've been looking for it, kinda.
Sort of.
Well, from here I know perhaps a shortcut, though it's not exactly safe.
Is anywhere in
no-
here safe?
yeah,
I
nowhere
mean,
down here is safe.
This is fair.
How fast of a shortcut?
good question.
Well, are any of you good swimmers?
Yep.
I can be.
Not been known to swim very steadily or quick.
That's a no.
I can help whoever needs help.
I haven't swam since losing 2 of my limbs.
Well, how were you before? There's a river that runs within this floor of Undermountain. The River Sargoth is its name, and it runs along Skullport. Along its border, there's a wharf there. I figure if we can get to the river, we can just make our way down the river to Skullport rather than traversing the tunnels.
That sounds good to me.
There are 2 routes to the River Sargoth from here. There is a route that leads directly through House Avrendar, the Drow family. I don't believe that is a route we should take, though I'm just leveling with you, leaving all options on the table. There is another route that leads through an old dwarven ruin that has been overtaken by drow. There are scouts and beasts that live there, but Stromkolder was the name of the dwarven city. There are no more, but I believe that with a little bit of effort, we might be able to make our way through, at least easier than through the home of House Avrendar.
Do you guys want to take your runes back?
I could care less, honestly.
We're not really here to take back land, even if it's underneath here.
Because that means you have to defend that land.
So it seems like our 2 options are going through a city or town or whichever word you'd like to use for it and go for the heart of the beast, or go through a random potential ghost town filled with beasties and unknowns.
Yes, but I'm hoping that half of those creatures aren't so intelligent.
And isn't there a chance that there could be like some dwarven relics, like maybe something we're trying to find near dwarven ruins?
That's a good point.
Excellent. You know, Orion, I don't think lately I've been appreciating your work so much. I really feel like you're getting on to something.
Aw.
Maybe gives him like a nod of approval too, as he agrees with Talgrof. We're so proud of you.
So that leaves 1. So you guys take off, and after about an hour or 2 of travel through these hand-carved tunnels, you can see mine picks along the walls. Occasionally you can see manacles on the ground that have been broken, rotted away with time. You imagine that looking at the quote-unquote ruins of these tunnels and the various scrap pieces of metal and other objects that you're finding along the way, that this was probably built by slaves. And the tunnel comes to a fork, and Rizaril turns to you and, well, this is where we divert. This way, he motions to the left path, will lead us to House Avrendar in less than 20 minutes' time. This way, motions to the right, will take us to the ruins. It's going to be a ways, but again, I think it's far safer.
Ruins?
I think the ruins.
I'm just going to start walking to the ruins.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll pick up and follow with you guys. You guys travel on for about 2 hours before Rizaril stops and tells you this would be a good place to take a rest.
Talgrof is going to sit down, sort of out of the way, grab his pack from behind him, and go through and look for the heart.
Okay. Talgrof, you grab onto this stone heart. I need you to make your choice of a medicine, religion, or arcana check.
We're going with religion. 11.
So, Talgrof, you begin focusing on this object, this stone heart, and it becomes more and more familiar as you're holding it. You're not sure from what source, but whatever it is feels close to you. And then you watch as these black tendrils spread from the heart and rip into your arms and begin spreading up your body. And as whatever knowledge that it's trying to pass on to you, you fail to grasp onto this. Your wisdom is permanently reduced by 1, and you gain the inability to never attempt to regain this knowledge.
You done picked a whole bouquet of oopsie daisies.
Mr. Talgrof!
And you all watch as this happens, as he's holding onto this heart. All of this energy begins to spread up into him, and as it spreads up past his neck and then into his mind, he blacks out, lands on his back, and then opens his eyes, and all those black marks are gone.
Oh, I told you that heart would... Oh, wait.
Talgrof wakes up, still on the ground, opens his eyes, is wondering what happened.
You're going to open your eyes to Maven. He's going to be over you with his sword out, looking at your eyes.
What's going on?
What just happened?
I'm not sure, just sort of passed out a little bit.
I'll look at his eyes.
Sure, yeah. Looking into his eyes, you don't need to roll for it. You don't see anything. You feel confident that he is in no way altered by whatever just happened. The heart, the stone heart, is still laying on the ground next to you, grasped in your hand.
Talgrof puts the heart back in his pack and just says, I'm gonna, bandage myself a little up. Those things spiders were crazy, you know?
Did we see the
You
heart?
watched that whole
Okay.
thing happen, yeah.
You care to share what that was?
Oh, this thing, we just found it in a statue. I mean, this is just a rock. I just passed out for a second. It's no big deal.
Well, hopefully the next time you wake up on the ground, it's not when we need you.
Well, we are taking a rest now, aren't we?
Talgrof, you do not gain the benefits of a short rest.
Damn it.
The one guy who was asking for it.
The rest of you successfully complete your short rest. Talgrof, you feel like a thudding pain in your head. And you know that what this thing was trying to... It didn't feel invasive. It felt knowledgeable.
That's cool.
But you all pack up your things from your short rest, and continue on. Unless anybody else would like to do something.
Mr. Talgrof, are you still hurt? Would you like some, like a kiss on your boo-boo?
What are you talking about?
Do you want me to? I mean, I can maybe patch up some of your wounds if you need it.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. Don't you need no kissing?
What kind of hell of a family did you grow up with?
Seriously,
The best one.
that's the kind of thing the lady says to you in a tavern.
I'll cast a level 2 cure wounds on Talgrof.
Sure. And as you cast it, Rizrul says, "May we please move on and stop talking about kissing each other, yes?"
Yeah,
Are you
good idea.
sure? Rizarol.
As Talgrof stands up and finds his bearings, and the rest of you wrap up your short rest. Yes, Orion.
I'd like to do one more thing in
Do
the
it.
short rest.
Do it.
So as we're like packing up, getting ready, before I put my my journal away, I'm just gonna write in it. I'm gonna say, "Super fun day. Dwarf smiled at me, but heading to the Drow City. Okay, later."
All right.
And then I close the book.
As you're writing this time, now knowledgeable of what's going on, you watch as one word behind what you're writing, you can see an imprint forming behind your words.
It's working. As I close my journal up.
Sure. So you all pick up with Rizrul requesting that you stop talking about kissing each other and continue forward. Within about 3 more hours, you find yourself in a small clearing where, well, it's not a small clearing, it's still the tunnel, but you can see that the side of it, there's natural light shining in from a small crack in the wall. And Rizrul looks confused, and maybe one of you should look. I'm not so good in the natural light. And you can see he's kind of squinting with even the small amount that's shining through. And so you can see...
Map break.
Map.
So you're heading down this tunnel, and you can see there's a small break in the side. The tunnel continues ahead of you, but there's this natural light shining through.
Sunlight.
I'll look through.
So, Maven, you step forward, and you look through. If you want to make a perception check for me.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Looking inside, you can see a cavern. It appears to be self-contained, pretty small overall, maybe 30 feet in diameter. And above this small break in the ground continues up as far as you can see, up to this small pinpoint of light that you're really squinting at after days and days being underground without seeing the sun. But most notably inside of this room, you see a winged creature with 3 heads, one resembling a dragon, one a lion, and one a goat, respectively from right to left, sitting on top of a mound of what looks like copper coins intermixed with silver coins and shimmering blue coins. With that perception check, you can also see that there is a small crown that looks worth easily 2,000 gold pieces or so.
It's my crown. I say to myself as I'm looking through this
And
hall.
this winged creature is wrapped up, and just each head individually is taking its own breath. You can see tufts of like smoky air coming out of the dragon's head.
Maven will take a step back and be like, all right. I don't really know what's in there, but it's big and has 3 heads, and it's sitting on a mound of a bunch of cool stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah, it looks
Per-
cool.
Perhaps we should just move on, yes?
Perhaps, but
We're close
there's
to
a
the
mound
ruins.
of stuff.
We're close to the ruins. I can't imagine you all are so easily persuaded to move off course.
Here's the thing. I see mound of stuff, and a shield might be in said mound of stuff.
You think it would just be thrown in there with a bunch of copper? It's not that worthless.
There's
I
also
think
a
it'd be-
crown in there.
I think it'd be guarded by a 3-headed monster.
Maven, make a history check, too.
Natural 20.
Oh, the shield is there.
Dude, if you're like, this is the crown of the monolith or something stupid like that.
Yeah, this is your crown. You have to get it. No. So you recognize the crown as having glanced through the history of the Dumathoin book that Talgrof had received from Rizril that held the shield in it. You recognize it as Dumathoin in origin, or Dwarvish, the crown itself. You imagine probably a Dwarven king would have worn this at some point.
Actually, Talgrof, you know what? That crown's dwarven.
How dwarven?
It's the most dwarven crown I've ever seen in my life.
Look, I must insist that we move forward. Yes, this is just a waste of our time.
I would agree. I think we should probably move forward. If it's this three-headed creature none of us has seen before, it's not like you can just lightning bolt it and kill it.
I bet you he'll try.
I mean, if anyone could lightning bolt it and kill it, I could.
Be my guest, I'll watch.
I will not be of assistance. The daylight and myself don't mix well.
Sure.
I'm not sure that we can really afford to tangle with this thing right now.
Okay. It's not my shield I'm looking for.
You know, you don't have to throw it in my face like that.
I'm just saying.
Like I'm gonna go one-man against this three-headed dragon. Are you crazy?
You're not going one, man. I'd help you out if you thought your shield was in there.
So would I.
So would Orion.
I'm just not feeling super up to snuff myself.
I'm going to walk ahead with Riz.
Sure, yeah. You guys walk ahead a little bit.
We fought things this big before. But hey, look. Two people just walked away, I guess, so...
Yeah, that's just not looking good.
Well, it's okay. You know, I just want to help you guys, the dwarfs, and if they're your dwarven stuff and you don't want it, then, you know, maybe we can get it later.
You know, I also have to survive to get the shield out. It's not just I find it and then that's it.
When did you become such a scared...
You think I'm scared?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm not calling you chicken to go in there, but it just seems like out of nowhere that you just, like, suddenly realized you could die.
You know, I'm a brave person, but I'm also not stupid. I'm not just gonna charge in there with some unknown big dragon-like thing sitting on a bunch of gold and copper and silver like it's no big deal.
Hey, like I said, we can walk away. I'm just saying, out of nowhere, you're just like, I feel like if a mouse just came by now, you'd probably jump on Orion's, like, shoulders.
I'd catch you.
Talgrof's gonna get right up in Maven's face and say, "Listen," in Dwarvish, "don't be talking to me like that, especially in front of the lad. A lot of things have happened since coming down here. I've been on this journey longer than you think. Don't test me."
As you're saying this and getting in Maven's face, you hear a voice from down the tunnel. Are you two finished kissing now?
Yeah, I think so.
Talgrof will just steam and walk away.
Sure. Wow, I'm so proud of you guys. As you leave this immense hoard of treasure behind that will never be seen again.
I got my cool sword already. I don't care.
I'm really proud of you guys.
It's a trap.
You guys continue forward, and eventually Rizril motions to slow down, and I think I can see the city ahead, the ruins rather, and pointing ahead, the city's just here. We've made it to the ruins. Perhaps it's time to be quiet. Yes, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to encounter.
Sure.
Do my best.
You can kind of smell like this really earthy, between fresh stream and mildew smell in the air as you're now getting closer to these ruins.
So we can see past us. It's just the darkness is impeding us, but there's no, like, any physical obstruction.
In fact, we're going to do something a little interesting tonight, which I will go over with you guys. So in front of all of you guys, in front of our players here, is a map of the ruined city, which they can see the entire thing of. And their goal is to find the exit, which is not labeled on the map. It might be inside of a building. It might be in roadways. It might be a small tunnel. It could be a hole in the ground, a portal, whatever it is. Their goal is to find the exit towards the River Sargoth. For you guys, all the squares with lines going across are the buildings, and all the not lined areas are roadways and things.
Oh, so these are things that you could go inside.
Yeah, the squiggles on them are the doorways. Just because if you just put lines on the paper, it's incredibly difficult to tell what is going on.
So we're looking for a secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel. Yeah. So as you guys approach and get to the entrance here, immediately you're met with a spiderweb caked floor. You can see that they extend out and forward, and the building in front of you, you can see that the spiderwebs drape up the walls. Running across the webs, you can see a number of small spiders, but easily they're 100th the size of whatever made this, maybe smaller, as these spiders are practically the thickness of the webs that they're standing on. There is some open ground in front of you, but the vast majority of it is draped in web.
I would like to light a torch, and
Okay.
then maybe just as I kind of walk forward, maybe burn some of the webbings like in front of my feet, so I'm not stepping on web.
As you pull out your things to spark your torch, Rizril says, Hold, Orion. This is a drow-conquered city, yes? They don't need lights to see.
But I do.
Your light would be a beacon.
Oh, good point.
I'll guide you, Orion.
Oh, this will be fun. I'll hold on to Maven's back. I'll follow him.
Sure.
I'm actually going to put my hand on like the nape of his neck and drive him.
It's probably smarter. So, you guys step out into this clearing, and immediately what you can see is this enormous cavern that was once the ancient settlement of Stromkolder. You can see crumbling single-story buildings all around you where there's definitely cave-ins from the ceilings, pieces of rubble scattered across the main roadways throughout here, the pathways. What is obvious to those of you taking the lead here is that the roadway is definitely regularly disturbed by various things. In front of you, you can see that this pathway forks off in a few different directions. There's a building immediately to your right and one right in front of you. You don't see any creatures immediately. You don't see any drow, anything along those lines. You do see wrapped in some... Well, who is leading this?
Not me, because that would be an Orion.
I'm next to Riz, so wherever he's at.
He is in the middle of the group.
Then Talgrof is leading.
So, Talgrof, if you would like to make a survival check.
Could I also see within my vicinity if there's any multi-story structures or anything?
Totally, yeah. Without rolling, you can see that the building directly in front of you is multi-storied, this large building, yeah. There are definitely a few single stories. All of the other buildings you can see, which is only two, maybe that third one off to the side, are all single story, but this one in the middle is a 2-story building.
Talgrof rolled an 11D.
That's pretty high. So with your 11, looking at the ground, you can see wrapped in some of the spider webs are more rusted manacles, as well as quite a few fresh sets of manacles that appear to have been left behind.
There's manticles. Not
Manticores.
No manticles.
In addition, you can see that there are bones scattered throughout these webs of various creatures, definitely some humanoid, some winged creatures like bats, things like that.
And bones. It's not a good combination.
I want to peer around this large building.
Sure.
And just kind of peek around and just to see if I can find a door or some way
Sure.
to get inside of it.
Sure, make a stealth check, disadvantage, because of the webs.
11.
So as you're making your way forward, Gideon, you feel your feet occasionally catching on the webbing on the ground. You watch the movement scatter as the web vibrates, and you see the webbing vibrate all the way up the side of the building onto the roof, and see smaller scatterings of it drift down other pieces of the web. But you continue forward, undeterred. You can definitely see a few small slats in the side of the building, small windows. You can smell very obviously what smells like something being cooked. It's very reminiscent of like a nasty meat smell. And looking inside, you can see that there are chained goblins, chained by the ankles, as well as a large bugbear that is also manacled at the wrists, and they all appear to be cooking, putting meat into all of these pots. And you can see there are a few drow inside as well. And as you approach, you're kind of looking inside and putting your hands on the windowsill. Part of the windowsill breaks off, and the drow snap their heads in your direction.
I will use my bonus action and teleport 15 feet back to where I was.
Okay, does that have any verbal somatic, any of those components?
It's not a spell, it's my boots.
Cool, perfect. Yeah, as you hear you snap away and teleport backwards. Make a stealth check with advantage.
16.
You snap back and you don't hear any pursuing voices, any
Yeah,
footsteps
and I
getting
snap
closer.
back and I stop. I don't move when I step back.
Yeah. To most of you, it smells vaguely familiar. It smells a lot like some slop.
Sounds like something we want to avoid. If they're making food, it's probably not the place where we're trying to go. You didn't hear any water, did you?
I didn't see any water, no, but
Yeah, we'll probably want to go somewhere else then.
they may be on alert. There was a bit of a creek.
Then let's go the other way, huh? Let's go to the right here.
Yeah, to be aware, it seems like these buildings may be occupied.
Suppose we'll have to be careful.
You can see on the right and left side now, you can see two separate buildings. Talgrof, while you're making your way up to the building, if you'd like to make a perception check for me.
Sure.
And I need stealth checks at disadvantage from everyone.
Before I make that or after?
Before.
I got a 7.
13.
11.
12.
Wow, I got them. Wow.
Let's see how Rizerol did. It's a 19 on the die. So, as you guys are all making your way through, this is the best room for it to happen to. You hear a voice inside that just says, occupied, as you're all walking by the building.
Are you gonna be a while?
Yeah, I just got here.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, what? Let's see if this guy knows where the river is.
It means he's not done, you know?
Let's just keep walking.
Yeah, let's keep going. He's not about to come
You
out.
see a small vacancy, or no vacancy on the door on the exterior.
Wait. So people are just in a building, even if that's the way to the river. We're just not gonna.
Could you guys? I can't do this with you right outside.
We shuffle past
Okay, you shuffle past.
in an awkward
And
silence.
Talgrof leading the group, if you could please make a perception check real quick.
That's 4.
Okay. Give me 1 second. We're gonna, if you guys want to get your initiative rolls ready.
Oh God.
As Talgrof, you make your way past this building, you hear a noise to the side, and you look just in time to see this enormous spider tunneled inside. It looks like some sort of trapdoor spider inside of this enormous tunnel to the right-hand side that leaps out at you and does a... It's only 14 to hit.
Miss.
Okay. Ooh, good initiative. All right, 20 and 25 initiative rolls.
17.
10 to 15.
12.
13.
Foe.
Okay, so first up is the spider's turn, as they're definitely getting a surprise round. So first up, the spider that lashed out at you, Talgrof, is going to try and grab onto you and make another attack. That misses big time. You see, or you hear rather, the sound of two other large spiders on the rooftops nearby spinning up their web in their legs, and then they're both gonna try and sling it out of you, Talgrof. So the first bite, Talgrof, was actually a dirty 20 to hit for, wow, max damage. 11 points of piercing damage. I need you to make a con save. Oh, it's with advantage because you're a dwarf and it's poison.
Yeah. Damn. 14.
Passes. So you
Oh,
take
thank
half
God.
damage. So you take 2 points of poison damage as the spider sinks its fangs into you and you feel this pulsing. One web attack, that was a 23 on the advantage roll.
Dude,
And a
really?
9.
Come on.
One of the webs strike into you and smack you against the wall nearest by. You are currently restrained. Top of the round again, as now it is not surprise round. The first large spider, still engaged with you, Talgrof, is going to make an attack at you with advantage because you're restrained.
Can I cutting words it?
Yeah?
I say, no, that's my friend, the dwarf. 2 less.
Okay, so for a total of 5 with advantage. Nonetheless, the spider seems to take some level of notice of you, Orion. The other two are going to dart down, one of them directly in...
Orion would be in front of me.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because you were leading Orion. So one's going to be at Orion, and the other one is going to attack you, Talgrof. And Talgrof, you're getting another bite with advantage because you're restrained. 15 to hit.
Miss.
Nice. As this other spider begins making its way over towards you and seems to be slowly analyzing the best way to begin consuming you. All right. Orion, it's your go.
Talgrof, remember the Shield of Farron goal. The shield of fair and gold.
Oh,
The shield of
my
fair
God.
and gold. The shield of fair and gold.
Oh,
For a
my
little
God.
inspiration.
Excellent.
And then I will then look at the rest of you guys and go, have you guys ever read Clifford the Big Red Dog? And then I will polymorph myself into a giant wolf.
Okay. Dope.
Is it red?
Yeah, Clifford the Big Red Dog, man.
Clifford the Big Red Wolf.
Clifford.
Maven.
And how tall is this building, you said?
The outhouse it's about 10 feet tall.
Okay, I'm just going to jump on top of it, and then I'm going to move over and just jump on this guy and just pierce him down
Okay,
with
so
the
what
sword.
does your jump thing let you do?
It just lets me jump 3 times higher. So my strength is 20.
Yeah, so yeah, your jump height would be 5 feet, so you could jump 10, 15
15
feet.
feet.
No problem. Yeah, without
and
a
then
roll.
I'll just, if he's on the ground now, this from the building just drop off onto him.
Yeah, you jump up onto the building. Make a dex save as you land on top of this building. These are ruins that have taken some damage.
17.
17, your foot kind of crumples through the
Whoops.
roof, and you can see sitting inside of the building on a small chamber pot is a single drow just holding the top of his head. Please leave me alone.
Yeah, we're not.
And you easily enough just pull your leg out and are able to continue. It's okay, so you jump up there, jump up on top of the small outhouse.
This spider is below me now.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to drop off and like think down a super smash, just piercing strike.
Yeah,
on it.
make an attack roll with disadvantage.
12.
You kind of step off the side of the building holding the sword straight down you. And while these spiders are pretty large, they also appear to be quite agile. And as you're coming down, the spider darts to the side and your sword collides with the ground underneath.
Okay.
Gideon.
I'm going to sit where I am. I'm going to draw my cane on the ground
Okay.
and get ready to cast a firebolt when I have a better view.
Cool. Perfect. Talgrof.
Talgrof is going to try to get out of the webbing.
Okay. So make a strength check.
16.
Yeah, as you're trying to rip your way out of this web's now getting bit, and one of these spiders is starting to wrap you tighter around your legs, getting ready to pull you down into its hole, you imagine. You're able to rip out of the webbing successfully. So the large spider that initially jumped out of this hole is going to string together more of its web and throw it at you, Talgrof. 23 to hit.
Yeah.
As you're now wrapped up in webbing again.
Stop it! I can't breathe.
It's then going to move directly on top of your body and start picking you up with a few of its with its 2 middle legs, and start slowly walking back in the direction of its hole. It's not going to get anywhere far enough at the moment.
The big
but
one?
Yeah, the big one is starting to do that.
He's going to make you his queen.
The other 2 are going to see if their webs recharge. That one does. That one does not. Maven. The one directly next to you is going to start stringing up its web. As it does, Gideon, you can release it as it's now kind of getting up on its back legs and throwing out this web. You can release your firebolt at it.
With the crystal side down of my king, almost strike the ground like a match. And in the same motion that I swing my king up, the flame kind of follows it, and I almost catch it with my hand before pushing it forward as a projectile.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and that flame streaks forward. Make your attack roll.
26.
Yeah, totally hits. Roll it.
13 points of fire damage.
Yeah, as it streaks out and connects with him, you see as it tears up some of the webbing that he's pushing out of his body, but it still streaks forward in Maven's direction. Does a 20 hit?
My AC, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you, Maven, find yourself strapped to the side of this wall after landing on the ground, and you are currently restrained.
Okay.
And the spider then goes over to you. It actually makes its way up the side of the wall with one strand hanging off of you, Maven. It starts making its way to the top of the building, turns around, and starts pulling you up by the webbing.
I wonder if this guy's taken his dump yet.
He will when he comes out.
At this point, you just hear small whimpering from inside of the outhouse. As Rizaril looks around, he is going to pull out his bow, and you watch his 2 familiar bluish arrows, Orion, appear on the bow, and he's going to let one go at the creature at the top of the building and one at the spider that is dragging Talgrof away.
Sweet.
And his natural 1 and a 3 will not hit.
Oh.
As his arrows streak out and strike into the buildings before he's going to turn around and head back in Gideon's direction. Okay, that is their turn. Orion, you see Talgrof being dragged into what looks like just a tunnel of webs that go underneath this house to the side. And you also see Maven being picked up on the wall by one of these large spiders. And you're a wolf. What do you think about it all?
I smell the heavy traces of spider going back into its nest, and I'm going to jump towards that in Talgrof. I'm going to try to bite the spider in half.
Cool, do it. Roll it.
14.
14 just barely hits as you
man.
jump forward. Talgrof, you wiggle really hard and like jam one of your elbows into the bottom of the spider, and it recoils just enough for Orion to be able to find purchase on it. Roll damage.
15 piercing, and it has to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. 14.
It falls prone.
Cool. So it falls prone, dropping Talgrof in the process, and you're now still webbed up, but lying underneath right next to this enormously large spider that's flailing on the ground, being attacked by a wolf. Just a normal day, you know? Maven.
I'm going to attempt to break free.
Okay, roll it.
9.
Now, as you're struggling inside of this web and you're being pulled up, it getting tighter and tighter around you, you find yourself helpless. Gideon.
I'm going to do the same thing that I did earlier and cast a firebolt at that. And I'm going to aim for the part of its body that has the web that he's pulling it from, too.
Okay. Yeah, like the thorax. Is that what it is?
That's a 10.
You streak out this bolt of fire, and while it does burn away some of the webbing on the wall, you miss your mark on the webbing that is suspending Maven at the moment. Talgrof, you're now no longer being carried, but you are still restrained for the time being.
I'm gonna try to break out.
Okay.
Prison break.
Make
Here
a
we
strength
go.
check.
Woo! Not good. 10.
You have inspiration.
I'm gonna use my inspiration. Come on, inspiration. 16 total now.
16, yeah, you're able to rip free of the webs as now Orion in wolf form over you is even more inspiring than he maybe was in person somehow, especially as a big red wolf. That's pretty cool. And you rip yourself free of the webs.
Cool. Take out my battle axe now and just be ready for attacking.
All right, back to my turn. The large spider that was carrying you, Talgrof, is going to get back on its feet, and then it's actually going to dart into its web, into its small tunnel. Talgrof and Orion can make op attacks. Orion with advantage because of pack tactics.
Pack tactics.
I have a special ability for this.
23 to hit.
Yeah.
Another 15 piercing, and it must succeed on a strength saving throw.
Okay.
17.
Definitely hits.
Okay, cool. That's 14 points of slashing damage. And as my special ability, Relentless Avenger says, my supernatural focus helps me close off my foe's retreat, so when you hit with an op attack, you can move up to half your speed immediately after the attack, and it does not promote opportunity attacks.
Nice. Very nice.
So I'm going to move around him and try to block off his escape.
You might not need to, as you guys tear into this creature, just ripping legs off of its body, severing its head. It's now completely in pieces. It's like you killed a spider and ground it.
Yeah.
That spider is super dead.
I smell
But
for my next target.
Talgrof, knowing that it's dead, you can move half your movement speed to wherever you would like. It doesn't have to close off the target.
I'm going to move it up towards the other one
Sure,
that's not...
you're standing like right next to two right now. They were both trying to web you up.
Yeah, the other one that's not up the building.
Sure. Speaking of, that one is going to dart up the building. And since you guys used your reactions, you're not going to get op attacks. So this spider darts up onto the building. Talgrof does a 17 hit.
No.
Nice, as it shoots out its web, and you just angrily splat it to the side, and
Not this time.
just looking at it angry at this point. Maven, you get pulled up to the top of the roof, and now as your line of sight breaks through, you can see that there are reinforcement spiders making their way onto the ceiling. As you're pulled up to the top, you're going to take some attacks. Looking around the room, you can see these vibrations from your battle spreading across to buildings. Now on top of this building, you can see that those vibrations are spreading further throughout these ruins. You imagine any spiders in the vicinity know exactly where all of you are right now. Sure. And you're going to take 4 attacks from this spider holding you and the 3 additional on the top of the building. So that makes it a 15.
Miss.
16.
Miss.
Dirty 20.
That hits. He needs to make a dex save too.
Okay. That's a 10. And that's all of them. So 1 hits. We'll do damage and then the dex save. So I need a con save with advantage because it's poison.
14 for me.
So that's a success, so you'll take half damage, and then it'll be half again. So you take 8 points of piercing damage first, and then you take 6 points of poison damage, rounded down to 3 because you succeeded, rounded down to 1 because you're resistant to poison. Also, Talgrof, add 2 hit points because you should have been resistant to the poison damage you took earlier.
Dope.
Okay, you said dex save?
Yep.
Natural 1.
All right.
And what ability are you using?
It's called Wrath of the Storm. So as he sinks, all these other ones miss, and then this one gets me. He's gonna take 4 damage back at him as he gets electrocuted when he bites into me.
Yeah, nice.
Hopefully deterring from any more bites.
That's it for their turn. Riz's turn. He's going to form 4 orbs of like a dim light around him, and then they're going to streak out 2 at the one that was pulling you up on the building, because that's the one he still sees, and 2 towards the one across the way that is engaged with Talgrof at the moment. So as these bolts streak out and connect with these spiders, you see bits of their, what chitinous armor spiders have is exasperated when they're larger, and you see bits of it kind of chipping off as these bolts connect with them. And then he's going to run down the tunnel you guys came his full movement speed.
Just going for the gold. For the money. Freak these guys. I knew this would happen.
All right, Orion, you watch as Maven is pulled up out of line of sight onto the building, and you can hear his muffled, like, as he's yelling for help, and you can kind of make out a few various spider legs on top of the building. You imagine he's in a bit of a scuffle.
And that's on top of the outhouse
Yeah,
building?
on top of the outhouse.
Can I leap on top as well?
Sure. Yeah, make a athletics or acrobatics check to jump up there.
Is there room?
No, but
He's small.
gonna be fun.
I'm not.
large
I'm a
creature.
giant
Oh,
wolf.
that's right. I thought he was.
I'll land on spiders if possible.
And me.
Athletics. 28. Athletics check. I rolled a 19.
All right, so Maven, you're restrained. You auto fail your dex save.
Cool.
And outhouse man, he auto fails. He's taking a dump. As you jump up onto this ruined roof, Orion, and on your wolf form, the roof caves inward, and you, Maven, and 2 of the spiders dump down on top of the dumper inside of this outhouse that now you see a drow with his pants around his ankles sitting huddled, curled up, rubble now falling across his head, spiderwebs, and he stands up holding, like trying to pull up his pants and just trying to make his way out of the room, and he's just really upset.
I'm just gonna start trying to rip to shreds the nearest spider that I see after we all fall into the ruined.
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
We're making an attack roll.
Another 19, so that's a 28 to hit.
Yeah, totally hits.
18 piercing damage, and it must succeed on a strength saving throw.
12.
Failure.
Okay, so as you knock down the roof of this building, if you could move 2 of the spiders down below and yourself and Maven. But you bite into the spider, and with it in your mouth, it feels like it's barely moving at this point. Nice. Orion always gets them to 1.
Oh.
The 2 that failed would definitely take some damage. Maven, you're going to take this damage too.
Sure.
So 5 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall. So that will finish off that spider as you finish it off with your bite after it takes some falling damage. Maven, it's your go. Now it's just lying on the ground. Sure.
17.
17, you're finally now, after falling to the ground and now laying next to a shattered chamber pot, you're able to rip free of the spider webs.
So
that
you
are
hear
holding you.
as I rip it out, my yell just gets louder.
Sure. And now you're standing in this room full of spiders, a giant wolf. You all barely fit inside of here. And there's one guy trying to pull up his pants.
That'll be my turn.
Okay. Gideon, it's your go.
I'm going to get up right next to this cluster
Yeah.
of everything, and I'm going to cast Thunderwave.
Okay, cool. What is in range?
2 spiders, a dog, a Maven, and
2 more
And a
spiders,
pooper.
maybe? No, maybe
a
not.
15-foot cube.
Yeah, I'd say you'd be able to hit the 2 on top of the roof too. It's only a 10-foot high building. It's like mostly crumbled at this point anyway, so.
So everyone in this radius needs a Constitution saving throw.
I rolled a 16. 16 and a 17.
I rolled a 14.
13.
Oh, and the pooper.
My DC is 16.
You rolled a 6.
Okay.
Okay, so one spider succeeded, everything else fails.
So the one that succeeded takes 5 damage. Everyone else takes 10.
As your thunder wave strikes out, you watch as it connects with the guy who was sitting on the chamber pot. He splatters into the wall and falls face down on the floor.
Sweet. I almost attacked him instead of the spider just in case he alerted someone.
Yeah, you also...
Well, everyone's alerted now.
True.
Yeah, oh yeah, it echoes out throughout the ruins here, like super loudly. One of the spiders on the ceiling is dead. The one closest, yeah. And the one on the ground is looking rough. You all hear, you imagine pretty near the sound of a war horn being blown. You imagine it's probably a drow sect or a bugbear sect or something in this area, and you hear the sound of many rushing footsteps.
Man, those Russians, they'll be here quickly.
Talgrof, sure go.
Hey, everybody, let's get out of here. It seems like we pretty much screwed up the element of surprise, and I'm just gonna disengage and run back towards the urethral or whatever.
Rizerol?
Yeah, Rizerol.
Yeah, the tunnel you guys came from?
Yeah.
Sure. With the sound of the horn, the spiders dart back. The large one that was next to you, Talgrof, darts back into the hole underneath the house. And the one on top of the ceiling darts down the back and makes its way towards the ground out of sight. But you can all hear and now see what looks like a large group of drow, probably approaching a dozen, making its way around this corner here.
I turn and look at Maven, and then I turn and look towards Talgrof, who's running away.
We got it.
And I turn and look back towards Maven,
You're a wolf.
and then I turn and look to the drow.
The one that's dead on the ground from pooping?
No, the ones that are charging.
All right, so that's what you guys see beginning to appear, a large group of drow coming in after the loud, thunderous booming. Rizerol is out of sight. Orion.
He tipped so long ago. This guy died. The pooper died, right?
Pooper's dead.
Poopers.
I'm going to turn towards all the drow approaching, and I'm going to howl. All allies within 100 feet have advantage on attack rolls until my next turn. All hostile creatures within 100 feet must succeed on a wisdom save or be frightened.
Okay.
It's a save of 11, and that's a 1 per day howl.
Within 100 feet?
Yeah, hostile creatures in 100 feet. Montage.
So, dirty 20, 14, 19, 7, 4, 7, 18, 14, 14, 14, 7, 10.
5 failures. That was 7 successes.
Wow.
And what happens to them? They're frightened?
They're frightened of him for a minute, and they can repeat the save
Until
on
my
their
next turn.
Good move,
Oh, until
Orion.
your next turn. Okay. Okay, yeah, you watch a number of the drow kind of stop running in their tracks as you let out this piercing howl throughout the cavern.
And then I'll just kind of back up. I'll back up just to like this little choke point here, and then like use my body to like block the hallway and just kind of wait to see what my party's next move is.
Sure. Okay. Maven, it's your go.
I'm going to do on a 20-foot sphere on this guy, I'm going to cast Ice Storm.
Nice.
So you hit every drow but one with a really good use of Ice Storm. So, okay. What is that?
A hail of rocks and ice pounds the ground. I need a dex save.
Natural 20 on the first one, 9 and a 13, 18, 7, 10, 13, 6, 8, natural 20 and an 8.
8 failures.
Okay. How much damage do they take?
30 damage.
Crazy.
12 of that is cold, and 16 of that is bludgeoning.
Wow. Dude, great use of that spell, actually. So, not the lead drow in front of you, but you see a bugbear that you recognize a few deep. You see red-skinned Mr. Red
Did I center it on him?
with a familiar silvered greatsword that he's holding.
I know that sword.
And you watch as every drow in the vicinity, except for the lead drow and the bugbear, drop to the ground, dead. And you watch as the ruins in the nearby vicinity are also just being pelted by these stones, and just the roofs are collapsing and falling.
That's all rough terrain now, too.
Yeah.
I'll just stay. Is he looking at me now?
The bugbear?
Yeah.
He's dead. He's lying on the ground dead.
Only
His
the drow
silvered short
captain.
sword or silvered great sword above him.
This guy's up there.
That guy, he looks to be a very well-dressed drow, and he looks barely wounded.
Is he frightened? Is he one of the frightened
No,
ones?
he's definitely not.
Okay.
This is not a character you've seen before.
I mean, I just killed all those people. I'm just gonna stand there.
Okay, nice use of that spell, dude. Gideon.
I'm not going to do anything.
Okay. Talgrof.
Talgrof's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna like kind of try to round the corner and then notice that no one's really following him and be like,
Sure.
"Come on, guys, let's go."
Sure.
That's it.
So you, Maven, watch as Maven and Orion, the big red wolf, as this drow is standing in this sleet storm. Does he take any more damage on his turn? It's just the one time. Okay, I can remember. He gives a look in your directions and then turns around and runs to the body of Mr. Red and picks up the silvered sword.
Okay.
And as you're standing there, a very familiar looking portal opens. One that looks familiar like Ook's, only this time you watch as the drow, after picking up the greatsword, pulls something out of his pocket and flips a coin in his finger, and this portal rips open. And you see this dark purplish portal in front of him. But he can't go through it this turn. Orion, it's your go.
I drop wolf form
Okay.
and I say, "Stop right there!" And I'll cast Hold Person.
Wait, no one's falling.
Yeah, no.
Oh, dang it! Wisdom 16.
19.
No, I said stop. That means. That's all I got.
Okay. Maven.
I'm gonna cast command on him, and I'm gonna say drop.
Okay.
Wisdom.
Wisdom, that's a 19.
All right.
He's definitely looking at you unafraid. He's taking into account everything on the floor, or all the bodies on the floor, as it were. Talgrof, you now hear the room around you is quieted down. The ice storm from up above is no more, but you can still hear the crumbling of stones and rocks as the building and the ceiling are settling.
Talgrof's gonna jog back to where the sunlight was coming through.
Sure, you start making your way in that direction, we'll say. All right, the drow, now wielding this greatsword, looks at you, Maven, just gives you a nod. Maven. And then he's going to disengage and step through the portal. This drow captain, when he goes through the portal, doesn't close. Orion, it's your go.
I'm gonna just walk up to Maven, and if I can't see anything. Maven!
Right by you.
Okay, hold on, I'm coming. I'm lighting a torch now, okay? I'm
I
gonna
think
light a
everything in
torch,
here-
and I'm gonna walk towards Maven and kind of just peek in every room that I pass along the way.
You start doing that. I'd say on this turn you could look into one building if you'd like, because we're still in initiative.
Okay, we haven't looked in this first room on our right.
No, not yet.
I'll peek in there as I walk past it.
So looking inside, you can see that there are almost like iron bars on the outside of this building, like it's some sort of holding cell. And you can see chained against the wall a number of lizard-like creatures that are all in manacles that are attached to the wall. And you definitely see them. They're all looking outwards, trying to take in what's going on. They look disheveled.
And I'll just move past him.
Okay. And you continue making your way forward. You can probably, at this point, with the rubble and everything, that the houses have just been decimated, you can probably see this black shimmering portal to something that Maven's standing in front of.
I'm going to turn around and follow Talgrof. I'm not going to dash, though.
Sure. Yeah, you
I'm
start
just gonna-
walking down a tunnel. Talgrof, speaking of, you're just going to be running?
Yeah, do I make it there yet?
No, like I said it was about 30 minutes.
I know, but I just
Sure.
wanted to ask.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. No. Top of my turn, the portal continues to crackle, and then it sucks down to a small ball and
Oh
disappears.
God, I thought you were gonna say it sucks everything within a 30-foot radius or something. I'm like, God damn it.
And we're out of initiative at this point. Next to you, Maven, and Orion, nearby is the corpse of Mr. Red, and you start hearing a familiar sound. A familiar burrowing sound from within Mr. Red's corpse
Get him!
as his body begins to tremble.
Oh God.
Before
and
he
a
turns.
small brain-like creature bursts from the side of his head.
Can I swing on it before it?
We'll stay in initiative for this.
Okay.
Actually, that makes the most sense. I will say between the three of us, we'll just have a quick initiative check to see who gets the jump on who.
Did you say the portal disappeared?
Yes.
Or okay, it didn't.
Completely disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah. I rolled really low. You'd have to roll pretty bad.
22.
19.
You guys can both get a go as this intellect devourer bursts its way out of Mr. Red's skull. This one you can see is much larger, as if it's had much more time to grow than any others you've seen.
It's been juicing.
Okay. I'll with the torch high, I'll kind of stick my arm behind my back and I'll hit my strings on my lute like crazy as fast as I can to get some friction, and then I'll throw the fiery firebolt over my shoulder at it.
Roll it. I love that image.
23 to hit.
Yeah, definitely hits.
12 fire damage.
You strike into the side of this intellect devourer, and it definitely takes a decent hit as bits of its brain are kind of now hanging down off onto the ground. There's almost a crater in the side of this creature, but it's still up.
Okay. As a bonus action, I'd like to inspire Maven with a haiku.
Ooh.
Do you have some food? Haven't eaten in hours. Please give me a snack.
We can eat when we're done fighting.
Then hurry up and finish the fight. Then kill this guy.
As soon as he says hurry up and finish, I'll look to him really quick and crunch my hands and shatter him. I'll use my channel divinity on it too.
Okay.
Con 15.
Natural 20, so it's definitely a save.
So 12 damage.
Okay. Yeah, you watch as the brain just kind of splatters on the ground, and now we're out of initiative.
I hate those things.
I want to turn back towards the hallway and cast message. It only goes 120 feet, but I'll cast a Gideon and I'll say, "Come back, we killed everybody."
You get the message, definitely.
Okay.
You get everybody this message.
Can I go through Mr. Red's body and the rest of these guys to start thinking these guys are going to come back?
Sure. Yeah, you start digging through the bodies. Mr. Red, he has a few bottled portions of beverage.
Ooh, what color?
And you can also see he has stringed across, like underneath the back of his cloak, he has a number of small, what he would call cave dogs. They look like weird hairless rats.
All right.
Talgrof, you're making your way down the tunnel. Brisk jog. It's nice to get some exercise in. You're chugging along. After a while, a ways up ahead in this very apparently straight tunnel, you can see a small beam of light. You imagine you're, I don't know, 10 minutes away.
I'll slow down as I see it.
Sure.
Just start walking so I'm not like completely out of breath by the time I get there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, Maven, there's some like lizard people over there and some cells are like tied up. I think I'm going to see what else is around here.
Ooh. Maven, you would find a number of set of keys on these drow.
Okay.
You imagine are for the various manacles.
Do you want to go talk to him, or you just want to keep looking at other buildings? Or
I kind of think if they're not going to hurt us, I kind of think we should save them and let them go. But I mean, I also kind of want to see what else is in these rooms and also find the entrance we're looking for.
Here, let's find out. Let's go talk to him really quick while we're waiting for the other people.
Okay. Mr. Lizards.
All right. You peek your head in and say Mr. Lizards, and they all look in your direction, but they don't appear to understand what you're saying.
Do they look humanoid?
They look humanoid in essence, yeah.
I'm going to go up.
They have like long lizard-like snouts, sharp teeth, the sideways lizard eyes, whatever that's called.
Which one looks... I'm going to go up to the one that looks the most hurt, and I'm just going to cure wounds him.
There you go up, and he's super tentative, especially as you get close enough to touch him. But as the healing magic goes over him, you don't have to roll it. He'll be at full HP. There's definitely some trust established.
I'll unlock that one and then wait about 10 seconds and see what he does.
You unlock him, and he looks down, and then he looks at the door and
I'll just
back at you.
Motion at him. Go ahead.
He makes his way walking out of the room, and as he gets out of the doorway, he starts moving quicker. You do notice him moving towards the opposite end of the room of this area from where you guys entered. He makes his way past a few of the buildings, continues forward, and you see where this cavern breaks off into another tunnel that exits this place, where you can begin hearing the sounds of running water.
Boom.
Okay.
All right, Talgrof. Eventually, you make it back to the small beam of light. As you're approaching, are you trying to be quiet or anything?
No, in fact, I'm yelling out, Triller! Triller!
Okay.
Triller, where are ya?
You're kind of yelling it out, and as you get to the beam of light, you see this large creature sitting atop its pile, the dragon head finishing its breath in as it begins breathing fire on you out of the small corridor. That's where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh no. Yikes.
Okay.
That's not what I expected.
What did you expect?
I mean, I'd expect at least, like, I don't know.
Being hella loud yelling.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Dungeon of the Wacky Wizard. And if you like what you heard, please feel free to subscribe to our channel. And while you're at it, drop us a like, comment, rating, or review. You can find us everywhere at The Lazy BardCast, where our next episode comes out June 23rd, so we hope to see you then.